Welcome to the Roundtable Podcast. Guys, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Roundtable Podcast.
That's right.
I know I'm eating something as I'm talking.
We all get hungry, Tom, so that's okay.
That's right. That's right. But guys, we'd like to thank you for joining the show. Today, this week, I guess this podcast, we don't really have a guest on.
Yeah, that's fine.
This week, actually, the guest that we had to cancel because of what she had to do.
I don't think we need a guest every time.
Yeah, we don't need a guest all the time.
Not all the time. Sometimes it can be just us.
Yeah, just talking. There's nothing wrong with that. But guys, we just thank you for joining the podcast.
Most definitely.
Can you guys hear this music? Okay, because I don't want to drown it out. I know if I turn it up, it'll be too loud. Then I wouldn't even be here if ever able to hear me talking. But anyway, guys, we just thank you for coming to the pod, the Roundtable Podcast, guys. On this, I don't know what to call this day.
Feel like a fall.
It's like a fall. I feel like a fall day. You know. But guys, we just thank you anyway for joining us. I'm looking at so many monitors. I'm looking at a monitor over here. I'm looking at a monitor over here instead of looking at the camera over here. But if you see me slightly, I'm looking at other monitors because it's I can see you guys, and other than the monitors straight ahead. But anyway, guys, we'll go ahead and get into this particular topic.
Let's get them subscribed.
Go ahead, everybody, like and subscribe.
Come on, guys. We need you guys to really, really participate, subscribe to our YouTube channel, show some love to our YouTube channel, because right now it's neglected. So we need you guys to go on over there. Right now, you can see it on the screen. It's at the Roundtable Podcast Official. That's our YouTube, our Instagram, our Facebook. Guys, you can even go to our website. You have no excuse. Come on now. Support us. Support the Roundtable. We come here every Sunday. We are very dedicated to you guys. So come on, hook us up now.
We ain't begging either.
I know.
I don't do the begging. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't do the begging. But anyway, we gotta, if you're interested in the different, there's over 100 pods out there. Yeah. If you're interested, you might find something that you probably be interested in. I'm quite sure there's a lot of topics that you can listen to, and maybe
with a lot of great guests too.
Say it again.
With a lot of great guests.
A lot of great guests.
Most definitely.
Definitely a lot of great guests, which we'll get back into.
Oh yeah.
Bringing them on.
We got some good ones coming next week. I got somebody that we're going to be bringing on next week. We're going to talk about the African. Should we bring African town here? You know, it's been a big issue. Like, no, but it's okay to have Mexican town. It's okay to have, every Chinatown. So what about African town? So we have a guest that's going to be coming on with us. We're going to talk about this. So stay tuned next week.
Guys, I'm knocking off this, what's this, banana nut bread. From
that's Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's not that bad. I don't know if you guys ever had it.
Okay. No, but I got a $5 certificate to Starbucks, so maybe I'll try it out.
And I've got this. We ain't sitting here endorsing anybody because we ain't getting paid to do that. But I like this little oat milk latte they got at the Starbucks. It is so good. The oat milk latte with honey.
Oh, okay.
It's warm or you can get it cold.
Yeah, you can get it warm or cold. But but anyway, guys, what do y'all? I don't
want to put out any disclaimers. We're not, the information that we give out here on the Roundtable is for entertainment purposes only. We are not professionals in these industries, so we want to put our disclaimer in terms of the things we talk about. So we do want to put our disclaimer out for legal purposes. Most definitely.
Yeah,
So.
but I was actually going to talk about the. I don't know if you guys watch different podcasts, but RW3 probably know what I'm about to say. But it may not even matter. But yeah, there's a lot going on with Joe podcast, with his podcast, with the with Maul and Roy not being on the show anymore.
They not?
Well, they actually took. I don't know. We don't know. Everybody trying to figure out what's going on because they're not there no more.
Oh wow!
On the show, and they kind of they it's a lot of things talked about. They say it's not over money, but I don't know. But
wow!
It's not saying that they're not coming back, but I didn't know that they had so many issues on the pod.
On their pod, it seems like they be having some challenges though. I can tell by the way they be talking to each other on the pod. You
can tell it was some tension there.
Yeah.
I never, other than grown men talking. You know what I mean?
Grown men with egos.
Well, kind of how like Lovely T talked to us, so I can understand.
No.
But anyway,
we ain't got nobody watching. I need to be sharing, guys.
But anyway, guys, that's the thing about the yeah. I was just wondering if anybody know anything about that. But we turning the channel. I guess we'll go into
we have a video. We have like a little video. I have put our producer can play like that top video just to kind of. Well, you can go into what we it's.
Let's go to the video.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the video. We're gonna be talking about the rise of the anti-Asian racism, and even more due to with the pandemic and things of that nature. So it's really been on a rise. If you guys can see in the news, I'm quite sure everybody's been watching the news. So we're gonna go ahead and go to that first video.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and go to that video, Jasmine.
Oh, okay.
You have to find it.
No, it's a link.
Are we gonna? Okay.
Go ahead.
We were gonna talk about. No, I just thought we said we would talk about the religious leaders, something.
I wanted to talk. I wanted to get off into that one.
That's the second one because we don't have to be on this one that long, so we're gonna just do this one and just go right into that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah. It just sometimes
patience is a virtue, Lovely T.
No, I that one was.
Well, I think this is important though because a lot of podcasters are really talking about this.
Let's talk about it very briefly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Very, very briefly. But anyway, while she's finding the, we can't just sit here and wait
Google Docs. It should be right there at the top.
From chick to chick, he didn't say anything. He just did it, and nobody came. Nobody.
This the video?
This is one of
them. Talking about the racism. I thought I wouldn't make it.
Noel Quintana's case in New York is just one of almost 4,000 anti-Asian hate incidents reported in the U.S. over the past year. In cities like San Francisco, a large Asian American population hasn't stopped the harassment either.
I noticed a young gentleman who wasn't wearing his mask, so I walked a little faster. Once he got within earshot, I asked him, just for the safety of my infants, to please wear a mask. At that point, he locked eyes with me and charged us. He decided to walk straight at us. I let out a few choice words and ran into the house screaming for my husband, who was running down the stairs and scared him away. The young man came back at least 3 times to throw things into our foyer and leave not only a racist note, but a racist mask that he wrote on.
Don't want to reveal your identity. Why is that?
I can't endanger my young infants. They've already been, before the age of 1, subjected to hate crime. I'm not going to give anybody else another chance to do that to them again.
We keep updates. I think the outrage that you're seeing from the Asian American community has a lot to do with feeling invisible, having a lot to do with our issues not getting attention and recognition and resources. And it has to do with the model minority myth that really was manufactured to deny structural racism.
We had already been seeing a lot of news that there's people getting beat down, robbed in Chinatown, and we were just really hurt to see that. We were really hurt, and we just thought, we need to start doing something. We need to go out to the community and patrol.
Do you see your role as defending Chinatown from these attacks?
We see our role as preventing and also as reporting as well. So we do a lot of observing, recording, and reporting. Those are 3 main tasks. We don't actually get into physical fights with anybody. This is our weapon right here. Hey, excuse me. This is our weapon.
But this community doesn't always report crimes, and activists fear that the actual number is far worse.
We have members of our community who don't speak English as their primary language, or they're undocumented, or they might have this sense of, what can be done about it. And so there's a deep distrust, and it's for legitimate reasons.
Yeah. So guys, and here's what I want you to do, Jasmine. Producer, I want you to find the video. It was the video about the beauty supply store, the Black owner who owns the beauty supply store, who can't get
her to pay.
It's hard for her to get products from them because they closing her out of the market. I want you to get that same, see if you can find that video, because see, here's my thing. Okay, so first of all, obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious, but our hearts go out to anyone. My heart goes out to anyone who is dealing with a racist situation, and obviously it's happening to it happens to all races, for one, some more than others. But I mean, even in this community, I don't want to sound insensitive towards this situation, but I guess all I'm saying is that we understand it's bad if it happens to anyone. It's terrible. No one should suffer violence because of the way you look or your skin color, anything such as that nature. I mean, it's terrible, and I want to underscore that it is terrible.
Yes.
So we get that.
Most
but
definitely.
See, the issue that I'm having in this situation is that, no, I'll tell you what. Let's just go here. Let's just go down this road. What do we think the problem? And I want you guys to give your opinion in this area. What do we think is the problem between African Americans and Asian Americans? Is there a problem between us as getting along as a culture?
Okay. Do I think there is a problem? And to the point, I know the producers look for the video. I think there is some resentment from the African American community that there is a lot of businesses, with the Asian culture, with the beauty supplies, with the and the nail shops and things of that nature, and that they are in the community but not investing in the uplifting of the community, that they're here but they don't spend. Then they go back to areas where there's primarily Chinese or Asian descent, and spend those dollars with their own. So I think generally, there's some resentment from our culture that you're here with us, but where is your commitment to this community by which you're thriving? The investment into our youth, and to our programming, and to a lot of the things that that's happening in our community that you are not investing in. So I think there is quite a bit of resentment with respect to that, and some of the condescension. Sometimes, not all. Again, we don't want to do a broad brush, But when you go into some establishment, the condescension of how you're communicated with, and you're in the community, and you're not investing, and you're going to talk to me any type of way, or you might just get a token Negro to work at your store to say, oh, I'm hiring someone, and the person is either at minimum wage or below. So it's just, I think that's some of an overarching, I guess, macro view that I think contribute to it.
Right, it's in there.
Yeah.
It's at the top.
What do you think? What do you think? What is your thoughts on this, Lovely T?
Pretty much similar to what RW3 is saying. This is it's an interesting dynamic because when I think of like all of the boys in the hood type movies that we grew up with and the way that Asians are depicted, almost everybody that it feels anyway, almost everybody that is a part of the American fabric puts themselves above blacks.
Yeah.
When it's when it works for them, but then when they experience racism and oppression, like blacks and Native Americans have since America started, now it's let's be in solidarity. And so staying with the original question, is there a problem? I think that's at the crux of the problem. It's like you can't play both sides, and again, we can't say that one person's actions is speaks for the entire race, right?
Yeah.
Because when you say Asian, even the Indians consider themselves Asian, you know what I mean? So when you say of Asian descent, you're talking about a huge group of diverse people over here. But yeah, I think that's at the crux of our issue as Black people. And it's not just with Asians, it's Asians right now, but post 9/11, it was Arab Americans, and xenophobia, and what I mean. So each race kind of has had their time in the spotlight, so to speak.
Let me ask you this. Let me get more specific in this area. Do we believe there's a problem between African American and Asian? I'm talking about more than be Korean. You know what I mean? I don't know who run these beauty supply stores in the African American.
It's most of the time Vietnamese.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm saying.
Philippines and.
Do we believe it's a problem between them and us? I'm not talking about the Indian. That's a whole nother road.
I mean, but again, it's the same. Like I think anytime you're quick to make assumptions about a group of people, you have this. And so just like people come over here and they learn about Blacks via the media and they have these distorted impressions of what and how Black people are because it's based on Hollywood. Black people have done the same. They've depended on media, to kind of help define the Asian culture and how they are, you know what I'm saying? Now, if I walk up to an individual who is of Asian descent and engage in a conversation, I may, like that individual, but as a group, I can't say that some of the images through media haven't, had some type of influence on how I've kind of described them as a group of people. So
I seen an article where they were saying that just the opposite. They said that a lot of Asian Americans, when they came over here, some of them obviously was born here, but those that I'm talking about in terms of coming over here and trying to take care of their families, raise their families, a lot of them, I forget who was saying that. They were saying a lot of them came into the African American community, and the only way they understood them as a people was through media. So they had this already a stereotype in their mind about us as a whole. Because see, here's the thing: even though we may say that and that's not everybody. All blacks aren't the same. That's not what how the media portrays us. It makes us, it puts us in a hole. Like when you see this black person, this is all of them. This is everybody. And now in their mind, they're thinking that that's every last one of us. They're uneducated, right? They walk around with an attitude, angry black women, angry men, toting a gun, can't keep their pants up. I mean,
so
that's
Tone, quick question to you though, Tone, is did you learn about the Asian culture any differently?
No, I didn't. See, here's the thing. I didn't learn about them on media, on TV. I didn't learn about them on TV. I mean, I learned with them.
We used to, like you said, that they'll play certain movies and they'll show.
They'll show a stereotype, but I didn't buy into the. I mean, I'm 50. I've been.
Okay, maybe not you, Tone, but do you think the generally speaking, the African American culture?
No.
Maybe surmise some of the stereotypes based on what was shown through.
Well, here's the thing, right? Again, I sat back the other day and I wanted for me to connect. I wanted to connect. So what I did was I sat back and I thought in my mind of anything positive or any positive experience that I've had with an Asian American, from the, and I was just thinking, I was trying to think, and I was thinking hard now, and I was saying to myself, I said, wow, every time I thought about something, it was either I always heard a negative experience, or it was a disconnection. It was a coldness. It was almost like a coldness that I've always felt, or I've heard someone say something negative about being in a store, whether it's in a Lee's beauty supply store, whether it's been in a Chinese restaurant. I've always heard bad experiences and how they were treated. And it was almost about, if you don't buy, get out. Buy. We don't have no relationship. Just if you're gonna buy this, buy it. If not here, you need to buy. It was always some type of coldness. Not a thing where I want to embrace this community, because guess what? A lot. Listen. We're gonna see this in a minute. But a lot of people, they said that the hair care industry, in terms of the perm, will shut down that particular industry because of a lot of black women turned to natural hair. So it pretty much shut them, almost like, I mean, just it broke their bank big time, because they really depend on the African American community to support their business. So I mean, I don't know. I was trying to find, and I was trying to find something positive, but I couldn't find anything positive. I mean, how have you guys, RW3, how have your experience? And listen, nobody's coming after the Asian people. All people should be treated the same, fair, and we should love everybody in the way whatever you call love. You know what I mean? So I don't want nobody to take this wrong, but I really want to know the truth. The truth. How have you experienced being RW3 with the Asian community in terms of doing business with them, whether it's eating, getting your clothes clean, whatever it may be? How have your experience been?
Well, let me just give a real life experience again. And I know it may seem like we're redundant in this, but not to just beat up, on them. But even with the personal care service, with the manicure and pedicures, my daughter and I, going in to get the service is very, I guess to your point, Tone, it's very, it's just business. In a personal care industry, it can't be just business. It has to be warmth and relationship and conversation, and because people are touching you, they're touching your hands, they're touching your feet, and it can't be just business when a stranger is touching you. So I found the, not being as warm. So now I have also I have an African American business owner, and it's like night and day in terms of the conversation and the interaction and the energy is warm. Like, I'm glad you're here and I care, and we're talking and we're conversing. It's just not a business transaction. I don't know if it's culturally, I don't know if they don't care, but that's my personal experience. So now, even somebody mentioned to me, hey, about going to someone that they knew in a particular area. I said, because my person went to the dentist, the African American person. I said, no, I'll wait till she feel better. I would rather wait and go to where, if I'm going to spend my dollars, especially in a personal care service, it needs to have some level of intimacy and personal. So that was just my experience.
Yeah. What about you?
I've been going to my place for, oh my gosh. But see, that's how I am. When I find somewhere good, I'm not a person that likes a whole lot of change. So I'm with you until, whatever. But so I've been going to them for at least maybe 5-6 years. And it's, it's a Philippine, owned establishment. And they are, nice. Now, I'm not the whole, we got to have a bunch of conversation anyway, because I'm always multitasking. So it's not a big deal, but they do have customers that, know them by name. Every time the young lady does my nails, we do talk about, oh, how's your son? And how, small talk. So, and maybe that's why their business does so well, because they figured out, how to communicate with, the communities that they serve. Because this place is not just Black people, even though it's mainly Black people, you still have white people that come in or whatever, but they figured that out. They figured out the customer service piece to the business, and that's why they probably do so well. So, yeah.
Well, I want to play this video. Let's take a look at it. We looking at two parts. And here's the thing, guys. I don't believe, matter of fact, it wasn't a Black person who shot up, who did all of those. It was one of the white guy or something who did the shooting
in Georgia.
In Georgia, guys.
You guys heard about
anybody aware of that?
Shooting?
Yes. That's the bottom line.
I mean, it wasn't a Black guy. It wasn't a Black person who.
It was a white guy. It's a white guy. It's like if you were to do a profile of the mass shooter, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a white guy.
Yeah.
So
it definitely wasn't a Black person, but let's just look at this video, because I want to let us see both parts of what we're talking about for this podcast. Let's see this video, Jasmine. Let's speed it up a little bit. Let's go past that. Let's just go straight to her, because I don't want to hear his commentary so much.
Mm-hmm.
We can't hear anything.
You don't have any, yeah. You don't hear any volume.
Is there any reason why we're not hearing anything? Should I be able to hear it? Let's see. And now, what we about to see, this lady is in Atlanta. She owns her own beauty supply store, and she's going to talk about how hard it is to get products, at least the ones that are trending. They close her out of the market.
And get into an industry that really we are the consumer. It's not no one else but Black Americans or Black.
Want to do direct business.
Roll that clip.
Personally, don't feel like they want to do direct business with African Americans because they are intimidated, because they do come into our communities and actually set up shop.
Gila Fletcher opened a beauty supply store in her Tampa Bay community in August, but she's a needle in a haystack. Typically, Korean Americans own beauty supply. frequented by African Americans in these urban neighborhoods.
I think that some of us are intimidated.
Hair care is a billion-dollar industry, and a 2018 Nielsen report shows that African Americans spent $54 million on ethnic hair and beauty products alone. Yet Fletcher told Atlanta Black Star that she and many other Black beauty supply owners have issues with getting products on their shelves from distributors who don't want to do business with them.
And then I even met a guy who actually has a large store in Georgia where he basically had to find him another face, shall I say, just so he can get the account.
Korean Americans have dominated the Black hair care industry for decades, controlling the manufacturing and the distribution, according to Shop Black.
Very hard because a lot of them, you know, either they wasn't responding or they just refused just to give you the accounts altogether. Some of them were saying that, oh, you know, your application wasn't complete, when I know good well that I did everything that I was supposed to.
Fletcher says one of the hardest products to get is virgin extensions, which also happens to be the moneymaker.
So where is this hair coming from? China. There's only two sources that actually manufactures hair. You got India, and China is buying from India as well. And then you got China. So there is no other that I know of that actually is manufacturing.
And Fletcher added that most of these distributors work with Asian-owned beauty supply stores, continuing to close the gap on Blacks having the opportunity to get into an industry that has prospered off of the support of Black customers.
But they make the ordering process so difficult. And when I want certain products, oh no, we don't have it. When I know you do have it, you just want to give me what you want me to have and not be able to supply me with what's in demand.
But there's history behind the tension. Korean Americans started selling wigs in 1960, first by going door to door, according to Minnesota Public Radio. Soon they moved into storefronts, but Blacks that frequented these shops felt unwelcomed, often reporting incidents of harassment. NPR News points to an incident in North Carolina that involved reports of an Asian store owner on camera choking a customer who was accused of stealing fake lashes. It's one of the many examples where Blacks reported feeling that they were being treated unfairly while shopping in Korean-owned stores. Today, more African Americans are seeking Black-owned beauty supply stores for their needs.
No, play this back. I want you to play this part real quick. I want you to hear this part because what he's about to say. Matt, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He was about to get off into talking about how, you know, he was talking about the strength of Black communities coming together and trying to support like this lady, her business. And he was saying how down the feed, a lot of the Black women were like, you wasting your time by saying that, because these Black women is not going to stop going to these stores. They're going to keep going to these stores. And he said they already hooked, so they not leaving. So you wasting your time. And I thought about that. I was like, wow, that's a shame to even here. You have a Black owner who's trying to do something to support her community that we this is something that we should have taken over, because it's our own products. We need Black hair. But he was like, the fellas really can't do anything in this sense other than support the Black woman or like help them open the business, because we're not their main consumer. He was saying, but in the sisters, they was all like, man, you wasting your time. These Black women ain't about to stop. They not about to do that. So he said, you might well forget it. And he thought that was a shame to say that, because we are like that. We don't support one another like we should. And I think it's a shame from all the talent that we have and all of the products that, I mean, come on now. And we're not just talking about the beauty supply, but here's the thing. She's gonna come on to the show, right?
Yeah.
The lady you just seen, we contact her and she's gonna come on to the show. Yeah, so we're gonna definitely have her on to talk about that. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about that that video? Lovely T, what do you think about that video?
Well, Lovely T ain't leaving, but I'm sorry, Lovely T, go ahead.
This is my hair, by the way. No perm. Nah.
I know, we know it's your hair. You got the receipt. Go ahead.
No. But anyway, seeing that, I went to the same thought as you, Tone. Like, you know, we as African American women, it's just like, like, you know, that's why I love when India Arie was out, and you know, we went through this phase, and it's not the first time, but it was like, love your blackness, your beauty. Like you said, we shut the perm industry down. Like, we continue to sleep as a people on the power, the economic power that we have, the power that we have as a collective. Like, we continue to sleep on that. And do I patronage Asian-owned stores? Yes. One, convenience, because I'm so busy. Like, I just need to like go down the street, get what I need, and move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no different than the Arab Americans who own all the gas stations and the liquor stores. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a matter of convenience. You know what I'm saying? And they know that, you know, and so I definitely, now that I'm at a certain economic status, I'm at a certain maturity level. Like, I think I was telling RW3, like, I mainly want to do business with people I have relationships with. And, you know, most of the people I have relationships with are people of color. And that's just where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's gonna be hard for Black women. I mean, and that runs so deep, and I'm gonna let RW3 chime in, but that runs so deep because of the image of beauty and why we feel we need to have, you know, European hair in the first place. That runs so deep, you know what I'm saying? Like, so while I am feeling a certain type of way about my own, you know, sisters and being asleep, I do respect the fact that the reason why we're asleep, the root of why we're asleep, runs very, 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 very deep. So
yeah,
I think another challenge in terms of coming together as a people, you know, to build on your point, Lovely T, is, you know, we need to figure out a way how to advertise where these Black businesses are, because when you come out, like I say, every gas station, I think the last African American owned gas station, I think they're Amoco on 8 Mile and Livernois. That's the last one I heard of. A grocery store on Grand River and near Southfield. I mean, otherwise, I can count on one hand where our businesses are. You know, otherwise, I mean, you wouldn't. So we need to figure out a way to get the word out in terms of where the businesses are, so we can, be more strategic and purposeful. And otherwise, convenience. We're on our way home. You know, gas station's right there on the corner. Beauty supplies right there in the mini shopping mall. It's like all over. I mean, you know,
and I'm gonna be honest. That's why I like Atlanta, Georgia. That's one of the reasons why that I like Atlanta, where it's just like they understand, you know, and they're, I don't know why it's different from there and here, and especially in Detroit, you know, money wise, you know, in terms of them buying up more, because I think there's a couple of beauty supply stores in Atlanta that recently has opened, you know, and I just don't. And by the way, there is a Black-owned gas station. It's, I mean, you know, it's far. I mean, it's far. You know what I mean? It's it's on Grand River and Haggerty Road. And I mean, you know, I purposely go to that one because it's not that far from the street for me. I'll make it my business to go up in there and to do business with them because of that. But I mean, not, you know, whatever. But I guess, you know, we'll move on to the next story, because I definitely want to state.
Can I ask a question before we wrap it up? Do you think that in this time that they're experiencing this targeted, you know, hate, that we should we should be in solidarity with them.
Are they in solidarity?
I think we should.
I've never seen them marching with black people.
But
But I'm trying to say that in a bad way.
No. See,
I'm not.
No. See, what Lady B is saying is true. Because see, I was thinking about that. I said, man, I've never really seen them even in the marches with us. I've seen everybody else. I even seen the white face in there. But I've never even seen, I mean, I'm quite sure they are.
Yeah.
But I've never vocally, you've never seen them make their voice heard, and they are more in the community than anybody are. I mean, they're just as there as much as the Arab is.
Yeah,
They're
right.
in
The
our
Arabics,
community.
Black people go there and they patronize a lot of their businesses.
Yeah.
But you never see them,
Yeah.
you know, rallying around.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and then listen, guys, nobody is pushing hate whatsoever. It's just it puzzles me that now, almost like that Arsenio Hall where you go, just like that was a moment. Y'all remember Arsenio Hall? We used to say
things that make you say
Yeah, it makes it, and I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, well, and I want to be, I want to find some value in this, to say, okay, yeah, let's work together. But I'm like, now it's starting to get told this happened, and I want to have a reason. And I mean, I remember been experiencing coldness just going in to the Chinese restaurant. It was one over there. I'm gonna put them out there on Telegraph and 7 Mile. It's called Sunrise or something. It's when we own that house over there in Lenore. We own that house over there. Yeah, we used to go in there. Remember?
Right by the gas station.
Yeah. And when I went in, and you felt this argumentative, and you ain't even doing anything, and it felt like, I don't know. I digress from that. I get out of that. It's just, my thing is that we definitely should support. What she say? Who that?
That's probably Jesse,
yeah.
The producer.
Yeah. It's just my thing is, it's just, I don't know. I want to, guys, we should be supportive. Hate is hate. Don't matter how you look at it. Hate is hate. Right. It is definitely wrong. I'm not for hating anybody.
I want to say this though, because I remember we went to a market, the Time Market. I don't know, right here in Farmington Hills. Yeah. It was an Asian girl that worked there. She had told us that they were treating her mean because she, because of the pandemic, and they didn't want to come down her line, and they was telling, like really dogging her out. She had told us that she came outside. She was almost about to cry. She said it was a lot of Caucasians treating her this way. It wasn't nobody else but Caucasians. They was like dogging her, saying, go back to where you came from, and everything like this. So I think they get a lot of mistreatment from the ones that they be trying to get their approval from, their acceptance from, which is the Caucasian community. I think they get more of their hate from that group than anybody. I'm just being honest. I don't know. But,
I haven't seen her in the store lately. I haven't seen her. Actually, I haven't seen her in a while in Time Market at all. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Leave a comment. What is your opinion? What is your opinion in this situation? Because that's all it is. It's our opinion. We would like to hear yours. Please leave a comment. Guys, about what are you thinking about what's going on? Obviously, no one should be for hate. I think this Donald Trump thing kind of, push it out even a little bit more. It's always been there, but it just seems like we've been getting the end of everybody. And everybody's we've been getting the tail end of everything for so many years. I guess we're so used to it where when it happens now,
when the next child get whipped, it's like I've been getting whipped all along. Now your sister brother getting whipped, and you're like,
we've been catching hell from every side of every race. We've been catching hell from. So I guess it's not a new thing, and now they're starting to get a snip of it. It's still wrong, but I think that it's been in our community. They've been treating us bad for some years. You know what I mean? Black folks. I would say this. I was looking at Disney, guys, and I was looking at all of the, I can't call it their names, all of the black Disney women who
The
was
actors.
y'all know the actors, Raven. What's the dark skinned girl name? Who was in? Y'all know these women. I know y'all have to know.
Our producer gotta know.
I can't call their names off the top, but you see them every day, just about. But they were talking about how they were, because how dark their skin was. There was a lot of things that, you know, they kind of got played out of, or they pushed them out of Disney, and they pushed in if you had more of a lighter skin. Like producer, what is the girl who's in Spider-Man? Zendaya, like she's y'all know Zendaya, I think, but she's more. She says she's playing it to her benefit because it is because of her color of her skin. Where not what Raven, the girl to play Raven, I think that's, I don't know if it's a real name or not. She said one of the lighting guys came to her and told her, "Hey, listen, you're gonna have to stop darkening your skin because we have to put more light on you." That's what they told her.
Wow.
And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it no more." She said, "But if you heard the racism that's inside of Disney when it comes to the black women, because of and this one girl, her skin was just too dark. They just, you know, they worked her for a little while, and they just got her out of there. You know what I mean? Because her skin wasn't light enough. And I only said that to say, to go along with this here. If we start, and one of them did say, she said, you know, just think about it. If we started our own, what we were putting together and bringing our kids in and having our own show, you don't need Disney.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna say this. We are some of the most talented people on the face of this earth.
Yeah.
You gotta believe we are.
Yes,
Listen, and I'm gonna say
we
this.
are.
As much as you think, they need us. Trust me, in a lot of areas, they need black folk because of the talent that we do have. But we have to understand that if we work that thing together, do you know the position that black people can be in, whether it is starting their own Disney? I mean, you know, these are talented people. Look, what do they turn to? The hip hop industry, they turn, listen,
That's gonna be
I don't even have to. That's a whole nother topic going into the hip hop industry. But let's switch, because you already know what's going on. What's his name? Cyrus. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I mean, all of them. They all. I mean, it's a whole lot. But let's go off into this next topic, guys.
Yes,
you know, this is another one that's definitely, you know, it's spawned off.
It's hard for us to share today. I don't know, is something going on with Facebook? Because I can't share anything.
Yeah, and they said they would start just lock
We
down.
ain't got hardly nobody watching, but that's okay.
Well, your producer said that Facebook was going to stop sharing. Has that deadline approached, or?
That's not yet. That's like the watch party of it. I guess I was going off of the live.
But I think there's still a watch. They'll still we still get hits.
Yeah.
I looked at one recently. One we did had 1,000 something hits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it still hits whether it don't do it now. It's still we still get it. So I'm not even. That's why I'm not even really tripping on that. But here's the thing that spawned off the Franklin. And I don't know if the Ty Tribbett, if that thing was old video. I didn't look to see if it was an old video or if the new video, or whether
I got the video that
the RW3. When you seen it, did it had anything to do with that Kurt Franklin situation, or it was just something that you thought that was because it was so?
I thought it was something that I really thought was, you know, when I heard him say it, because I think we actually kind of talked about it with Kurt Franklin in terms of the music industry itself. And it's really just a business. It's really not the body. So I said, whoa, Ty is, so I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, we got the video.
Well, let's go ahead and play this video, guys. We want to get off. We're gonna switch into this next topic. And it's talking more about the industry as it stands, the gospel industry as it stands. Is the gospel industry, can we look at it as being part of the body of Christ? Is it, or is it just like anything else? Is it just like the music industry as it stand now? Are they included? You know what I mean? Instead of excluded from the church. I mean, or are they just like any other person who get up there and sing and do what they do? They just happen to sing gospel. You get what I mean? But let's hear what Ty Tribbett is saying in this video and let's talk about it.
Get ready, Lovely T.
I'm going to set this up for you guys because the video's like 13 minutes long, but the first probably like 8 minutes.
I don't know when to cut it. I don't know when to cut it.
All right, cool.
Your audio,
Yeah. So the title is Ty Tribbett said hell no to the industry. He won't compromise. He won't compromise.
A business call, and I'm just talking the air out a little bit. I got a single coming out. I want to put a single out that I'm very, very excited about. I've been off the music scene for a little while. I feel like I've been off the music scene for a little while, and partially for reasons like this. So I've been off the music scene for a little bit now. I'm excited to kind of come back and give this single. I'm excited about this song. I feel like it fits the times. I feel like it's encouraging and inspiring and uplifting, and I want to not make y'all, but help y'all dance a little bit through this pandemic. Bring a little joy in your homes, bring a little dance, and an encouraging word. That was the purpose of it. I used whatever resources I had. I don't got my band here. I don't got my singers here. I just, the sound is what it is. I like work it out type thing. But I just got off the call with a business call, and it's like I'm not selling out, y'all. I'm sorry. It's like, yo, your song is hot. Da, 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 da. If you do this, we can get you. I was like, yo, man. I was like, nah. I literally just hung up on the call. I literally like, hey, y'all. I can't do this right now. I know it's really all about the money, and I ain't selling out like that, yo. So I'm out. What I mean all about the money is, like, if you got money, you can get certain platforms. Period. If not, you got to do certain things to get that platform and make certain compromises. I don't got the money other people got. Well, let's just say I'm not willing to use the money I got for that. That's what I mean by I'm not selling out. I ain't doing that. Nope. I'll pay my bills with my money. I'll help the church and the people. No, I'm not that ambitious. I don't need it that bad. The song is gonna come out. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. But I can't compromise, man. I can't sell out. I just can't believe. I can't believe I'm. This is why I don't. This is why my head was in the sands of Orlando, and live church. Like, I can't. The industry. I can't do it. It's not godly. God didn't establish the music industry. He didn't establish the gospel music industry. It's an industry. It's just, and to make music and to use the gift God gave you and to put all your blood, sweat, and tears. I know I sound like every other artist, but you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it. You put excellence into it. You know what I mean? The Lord gives you a gift and you want to give it back to him and point it back to him. And then you got to place this baby called a song into the hands of a godless industry. It's like, yo. And I'm not just talking mainstream. I mean, even the gospel music industry is not God established. Though he is glorified, he didn't establish it. Just like he might not have established your job, but he can get glory at your place of work. It's the same thing. But to put these songs into the hands of that, and if you guys hear, whether you hear it or not, it's based on these powers that be or what. I don't know. I'm just rambling. I know I'm frustrated, but what's up, homie? You good? You good? My bad. My bad. Y'all getting it done, bro? Yeah. All right. I'm happy about that. I'm excited about the single, y'all. I just want y'all to dance and be encouraged. I don't care if it's like a TikTok thing. I don't care about what the world considers success anymore. I will just be on this level for the rest of my life, and others that are willing to do what it takes to get there, they'll be the ones that go up. And that's not everybody. Some people do got pure hearts, and some people do got, like, yo, that type of favor from God where they excel without having to compromise. I have been one that have been able to excel without compromising to this level. And the other levels that you get, like the big, what people would consider big things, or why gospel music is here and it seems like mainstream music is there, I'm not willing to do it. I'm not willing to do it. So if I'm gonna stay on this level for the rest of my life, let me recline.
Let's cut it right there. Let's cut it
My
right
music
there.
is not good enough to be placed.
Because my thing is that, you know, what is he alluding to? I mean, what you know what I mean? Come on now. You know, you threw some things out there, and I'm like, okay. My
Well, we
God.
got a music industry expert.
Well, here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. What was you talking about that I'm not gonna do it? I mean, it didn't sound like, you know, if put this beat and you put this, if you bring this artist. I mean, because when we talk about music itself, are you talking about the music or how I want to display it and how I need you to portray yourself as an artist? Well, I mean, what are you talking about? Are you saying, hey, listen, if you move, I'm just throwing names out there, Yolanda Adams out there out of here, and you bring in Cardi B on this track, oh, it's gonna be hot. What are you talking about when you say I'm not willing to compromise? Or are you saying if you come over here, go to this party, turn your booty up and let it get hit for a couple of times, you know, we got a $2 million check on the table? I mean, what do you mean when you say that I'm not willing to compromise? I guess that to me is the issue for me. I need to understand that more. You were speaking in, you know, you wasn't specific enough. I mean, because what does that mean when you say compromise? What do you guys think about that? Anybody, just randomly.
I think I'm just speculating. First, it was a situation a few years ago. Somebody we was working with, and we were invited to this release for a major gospel artist, and this particular artist talked about how they're not quote unquote as big because one contract that they wanted her to sign, she had to remove inferences to Jesus Christ. Right? So that leads me into this thought. I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds like when I think about, you remember Yolanda Adams when she didn't become big until she didn't get mainstream until she poured Jesus' name out of it, right? Open my heart, open up to, that's her biggest record. Her biggest record from a secular perspective when she poured Jesus' name out of the record. When she took God's name out of the record, that's her biggest record to date. Or he made, like BB and CC Winans as a collective, they never mention any inferences to the name. I don't even think in any of their records they even mention scripture. When I first heard it, I thought they were just regular love songs to each other. So my guess, and I'm clearly speculating, that they said, okay, if you want to get to the next level, you need to suppress the Jesus inferences. And if you want to go mainstream or get bigger and make more money. And some people in that particular case only are not prepared to make those sacrifices.
But here's the thing. He mentioned the word ungodly. So
right.
Are you saying it is ungodly to remove the name Jesus out of the song? Because, I mean, there's a lot of gospel artists who sung songs that didn't mention Jesus' name in it. If you really want to know truth, take the Book of Solomon. That's what that is. He's singing. He's giving psalms, the songs to his bride. He said how her breasts were like something like a dove or something like that. I mean, he didn't mention the word Jesus involved in there. I don't remember hearing that, but they're called the Songs of Solomon. So my thing is, I'm wondering, is it Is it that? Is it the writing that you? Oh man, this would be dope.
Well,
remember that song called "Fall Down on Me"? It was in the clubs like crazy. Fall down on me. That was one of the biggest, hottest tracks that played in the clubs for years. You know what I mean? It was to a degree where people were like, I didn't even know that was a gospel song. I remember my cousin was saying, you know, for years, I didn't even know there was a gospel song, but it was a gospel song. You know, and even Kurt Franklin, you know, Stump. You know what I mean? When that first came out, he had some kickback. In fact, he had a whole lot of kickback with you know, church folk not accepting his music. He had a hard time when it first came out, and then people started accepting him more and more because it was a sound that they never heard before. You know what I mean? In terms of hip hop sound. In gospel music, so it's been a trend for a long time. You know,
so he said,
would you agree with
music industry or the gospel industry? That's we want him to change.
He said it's ungodly. He think it was ungodly.
Now, would you agree with this, Tone? Now, my argument is, God, you know, just looking at scripture, intent in your heart is critical. So, for example, if I'm giving begrudgingly, like, everybody see me walking up there giving, but my heart is saying, man, I'm tired of giving to the church. God sees it, and it talks about if your heart is not in the right place, he doesn't receive it. It says, I think one scripture I read talked about, you know, your mouth say one thing, but your heart is far away from me. So when I say that, when I think about the name, I think about your heart and intent. It's my intent that I'm going to remove the name so I can make more money. You know what I'm saying? I think that's ungodly. You know what? Let me take his name out because I'm not making enough money, and let me do this to remove him so I can get bigger, so man can praise me, as opposed to I'm being led by God to write a song and go in this different direction. Like you said, Tom, Song of Solomon, Ecclesiastes. There's a lot of books, like you said, doesn't mention it, that are books in the Bible that doesn't say the name. But the intent of those books are not to, I want to exclude him on purpose. So I think if you try to exclude it on purpose to satisfy secularism, I think that's where the ungodly part comes in. Again, that's just my speculation.
Because they said that a lot of the artists, I had a list of them, and a lot of the artists came from the church that's led to the main street. They started out in the church, even like Beyonce. I mean, it goes down a list. It goes like all the way down.
Yeah,
the list.
I mean, who was that?
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
I think it was
Aretha Franklin.
It's kind of age old, like you say. I mean, you going back to Aretha Franklin, but you go back to James Brown. You go back. I mean, you can go back historically, and you know, the church has been there in terms of a source for rhythm and blues. I just think it's not just gospel. You know, not every artist, but this tale is common. Even Cardi B, like, she did some kind of you know, YouTube, whatever, Instagram, whatever, where she was talking about how they making her do stuff, and this is crazy, and you hear about the Illuminati, and you know, all this crazy mess for anyone in this industry, where it gets to a point where they're at a crossroads and they have to decide, are they going to stay true, or are they going to sell themselves out to whatever degree in order for a higher level of fame and fortune? Like, so it's not just the gospel industry that I've heard this from, it's across the board. But like Ty Tribbett said, it's because it's ungodly, you know, so they don't have a moral compass. They don't have a line where they say, we're not going to do that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
But let me ask you this. Is gospel music, okay, here's the thing. Should we hold gospel music up on the same level as we do a pastor, an evangelist, a deacon, should we hold them up at give them the same level of standard that we do all of these other titles that is within the church? Because what I'm hearing is that we shouldn't expect the same thing from a minister of music like we do from a pastor that runs a church. Should we keep them on the same level? RW3, what do you think about that?
No, a minister of music in the church, I hold them to the same expectation of everybody that's in the church. Gospel music I don't think that's church business. So I don't think they're recording. I think they're recording artists. I just think they're just just like any other genre.
I disagree. I mean, I see what you're saying. You're in the music industry, but I disagree because
I totally disagree.
Because I remember when they first played a gospel song on mainstream radio. I think it was 98 WJLV, and I'm trying to remember if it was a whining song. I can't remember exactly, but I remember as a youth, the first time they played, gospel on the mainstream, and like you say, that big argument ensued. Like, this is dangerous to take this path or whatever. But gospel, like music, period, is inspirational. Period. When you are lifting his name, as Ty said, to me, that just calls for like a deeper connection than secular music. I don't know. It's in the church. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have hymns, you have music. Like music is as much a part of the church experience as the pastor preaching, especially in the Black community. So to then say because of the venue in which you use to put it out there, like, so used to you had to go to church to hear it. Now you can turn on your radio and hear it, and expect people to be that critically thinking. They're not. And the industry knows that, and so I think in a perfect world, you could say, yeah, we want to separate it. But the reality is when I'm listening to that gospel station, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeking for that, connection with God. So I turn to gospel music to help me kind of get in that mode. You know what I mean? And so I'm not separating the fact that it's an industry and it's not related to my religious, faith.
And what do you think about a Marvin Winans, or what do you think about a Shirley Caesar?
iHeartRadio, the owner, whatever his name is.
What'd you say, RW3?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you froze.
You talking to me?
Yeah, you froze. You froze up.
Oh, no. I guess just a clarity. I want to separate the industry from the people. I have the expectation of Pastor Marvin Winans. I have the expectation of people who are saved. I do have the expectation. I don't have the expectation, like he said, of the music like iHeartRadio. Like I don't like all they care about. They don't care anything about Marvin Winans and perfecting and salvation and so the industry itself, I don't have any expectation of the industry to do right by the church. Expecting the industry to look out for the church's best interests doesn't make sense to me. But do I expect Shirley Caesar and Marvin Winans and those who are believers to do the right thing? Absolutely. But in terms of the industry itself, I think it's a secular industry.
Okay, so Sandra just made a comment. She said, I don't know if we can post it back up. I hope you guys
put it back up.
Pastors are ordained to watch over people's souls. So she's trying to say the music industry is not. They haven't been ordained.
But that's not. I don't think so, because I think that it's still praise and worship. It's still when you're still that's still a calling that you might have, and you ministering music, where that's the part that you make up in the body of Christ. So my thing is that you have just as much important. Okay, so look at what's his name. What is the one pastor who came out? His wife had passed away from cancer. She was white, the white lady.
Oh, Marvin Sapp.
Marvin Sapp, pastor. Another recording artist. They still hold a responsibility to minister the word.
Marvin
Whether
Sapp.
they sing, whether they teach the word, they're still. If you're doing anything that says that I'm doing this as a believer, then you're putting yourself in the position of ministry
and accountability.
Yeah, right. And accountability. You're ministering the word, whether it's through song or whether it's through word. Somebody could still be what the church world say delivered. Whether it's be through song, you might make their day because they heard that inspirational gospel music that did something to them. Whether it's in the church, and here's the thing. I don't think there's a such thing as whether, because you're not in the church, meaning in the four walls, that means that as long as you're in the four walls, you got to do it this way. But once you come out, no, you don't have a responsibility as a Christian singer. But go ahead. What is
so
it?
Lovely Ivory says, gospel music today is no different from secular music. It is truly really hard to differentiate between the two of them.
Well, and that's the truth. That's the honest God truth. I now see, here's the thing. I agree with that. It doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? But I still agree with that because and that's the sad, honest truth that they have secularized, meaning made worldly gospel music, where now they've put another beat on there to make that beat stretch out, to get a little bit more, more swag to it. And they just put some gospel music behind it. They have lost. To me, they have lost their seasoning to that type of sound where it sounds the same. You know what I mean? It done, and I don't know if it's in the sound or is it in the words that should be expressed
or the music.
But the argument is that the reach. You know what I mean? So, like, at least that's how I understand the argument. I mean, RW3 may know better, but
secularism is actually the.
But I think would you all agree or disagree with this? That the gospel music industry is an industry built like whoever owns these major labels and distribution, they want to entertain. They want to be an entertainment. They're in the entertainment industry. So that's the industry. Like I agree with you, Tone. Of course, the body of Christ is a living, moving, breathing organism. So not within the four walls. And I absolutely agree. But the gospel industry is the industry itself is for the purpose of entertaining.
But the artists, though,
people. That's why.
But the artists, like you said, I mean, the artists are using a vehicle that's there to push the music. But the argument that I've heard a lot of times is that they want to reach like the youth in the street or the people hanging out at the bar, like. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like they have to speak the language without compromising the content. I mean, you have gospel rappers, you know what I'm saying? They're rapping, but the content of what they're rapping about is still deliverance and worship and praise, but they're doing it in a rap format in order to have a broader reach. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other side of that argument is that I see what you say. I agree. You know, the industry is out to make money and they're going to keep pushing you and pushing you. And that's why I think that each artist that comes out, regardless of, gospel, whatever, if they're good at what they do, they're gonna come to that point in the crossroads where they have to decide, am I going to sell my original intent for doing this out for the sake of the dollar?
Let's make this. I want to make something clear, right? Okay, so I believe that it's obviously there's a difference between the music industry and gospel music, right? It's no different than if I want to go sell some clothes, but I choose J.C. Penney's to sell my clothes through them. You get what I mean? Where you can have, which you do have now. You do have churches or like a Creflo Dollar who have their own labels where they do push out music where it's not connected so much to the music industry in terms of, as we know, the secular world. So there are different like I want to say, I'm not quite sure, but I think even TD Jakes have a label. I think Creflo Dollar has a label.
A lot of times they don't even want to sell.
Yeah, I think
Creflo for sure.
Marvin Winans even have but okay, so there are churches now. I mean, you have Hillsong. I think I don't know if they have a label, but there's a lot of different organizations that you can bypass this so-called industry as we know it and just strictly stay within the gospel arena. You don't really necessarily have to.
Sometimes these like Christian industries or Christian pastors, Christian, a lot of times they seem like they shun people away more, so they run more to the world. That's what I think. Well,
however they do it, yeah, right.
That's what I think.
But they have. But I'm saying is now. Here's the thing: there are so many Christians on this earth now. The whole lot of them, right? They really don't even need the music industry as it stands to sell their music through that vehicle. They don't have to necessarily do that. Now, in terms of so here's me, right? I was writing music since I was 17 years of age. I didn't just so a lot of people don't really know my path in the music area. I was writing music. So about I'm talking about R&B music. I was writing that. I had recently, probably a couple of years after I started writing into the rap industry, I've almost got signed to major labels. A major label. It was just I was out running amok with the wrong people. You know what I mean? Where we was going to get signed to deals from California to New York. We had an artist breakout CD that went out, and we beat out so many people with me and my friend as artists that it was pathetic. We just had another lifestyle that in other words, we were rapping exactly what we were doing. We was out there getting money. You know what I mean? So I just didn't want to. My mind was wrapped up into all the wrong things. I'll just say it that way. But I'm saying is in terms of being signed and knowing the music industry, I knew the music industry like this. I was connected with major artists. I was connected with major producers. If I was I can write a book. My wife will know my story. I can write a book in the music industry that's connected to me. That's why I veer from it so far now, because it wasn't anything good that I got out of it. I used to smoke blunts in the booths when we used to do our music. I mean, when I tell you I was deep in this thing to getting signed within like this, it just wasn't meant for me. It wasn't meant for me to go that far within the industry. I could tell you anything you need to know about the industry from personal experience from the road that I traveled down and the artists that we put in. And for me, so that's something that I know like the back of my hand. Just, I know it's so corrupted that, I stay far from it now. And that's what made me transition into media. It was because of me already being an artist that made me pull into doing music videos and different things such of that nature. So that was my love for the industry so much that I moved from the artist and went into behind the scenes of learning how to shoot a camera because I was that obsessed with it. You get what I mean? So trust me, I know I got a regiment that will blow your mind that I don't even, and there's things you will never know about me in that area that was I had I was in it pretty deep. You know what I mean? So, but I don't talk about that part of my life. You know what I mean? Because it's like a switch that I turned dead off. Completely, you know what I mean, and my kids know about it. Like, you should put a book together. I said,
I wrote the movie. I wrote a movie already. It's already done.
Yeah, and I said it'd never be public because I don't like that part of my life that I live, and it was through that industry. You get what I mean? That I was real corrupted in. You get what I mean? So yeah, if anybody got a testimony, I got a dead testimony in that area. So I think I know. That, and I try to do gospel music in it. I tried to do gospel music in it, but then it was so many signs of me to pull out because I seen that old thing that still was still there. Yeah, it was still there. So I had to pull out of it.
Yeah, because it's hard to mix. Take certain words out when you writing music.
Yeah, I couldn't.
And you gotta now you are a believer. You live with God. Now you gotta remove certain things. You can't say things anymore. So it kind of gets a little shaky in those areas.
Yeah, and those who ever watch it, they know stories after story. They can tip out. I mean, it's just and that's so I know that industry is an addiction. It was more than just. It was an addictive world. You know what I mean?
So now we have these people like Tribute and other people who, a lot of people want that fame, they
want that
fame. So some of them are willing to do whatever it takes to get there. Then there's some that's not. Yeah. So I guess he's one of the ones that say, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I don't care about the fame. I stay on my level where I am and just believe to be blessed from this level. But some people want to go higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, they want to go higher. And you can be offered. Well, for me, if I was the one I'm glad I didn't choose. Because around the time that we could have came out as our name of our group was called Original Gangsters, and the time that we would have came out would have been around when NWA just came out, when Tupac just started releasing his CDs and gangster rap just started making itself on the scene. Those are the times that we would have came out. Our group would have been known if we would have. We would have been off the tree ourselves, but it wasn't. But I still lived a corrupted life. You get what I mean? So it didn't really matter if I would have. I know I missed it, and knowing what I know now, I'm so glad that I did because there's no telling what mindset I would be in right even now of even knowing how to be a family person or anything just as that nature. I thank God for a lot of His favor that was on my life, even in them times when I wasn't seeing clear because it was all about the money bag for me for a long time. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, yeah. So I do understand that even on the phone, and I'm gonna go this way too. We don't know if he's doing that just because he's got a CD that's about to come out.
He got a single coming out.
Right, a single come out, and he want people to listen to it because a lot of artists do that too. So when I was hearing him, exactly because of my experience in the area, that's the first thing I heard. I said, I want to be doing this because he's trying to push a CD. He hadn't been out in a minute, so he's trying to pull attention back to himself. So he can push out a CD. So I kind of thought about that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of artists do that. They try, they make up stuff. They put this whole thing together. That's part of their whole marketing strategy, their whole campaign.
That's right.
Just to get people viewers.
That's right.
So RW3, what you got in your bag? What can we expect?
Because that is a marketing strategy, Tom.
Yeah. For some reason, RW3, you breaking up a lot today.
They create.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You freezing up a lot.
They create controversy.
So we gonna expect some controversy.
What you say?
Yeah. So guys, we don't know what's going on out there, but there is. Have you guys seen?
I know. I was on my laptop. Then I switched to my phone. I don't know what's going on.
Hey guys, I want to show you something. Because this is a podcast, I want to show this. Pull that video up, and I want you to tell me what you think of the video. We still got a little bit more time. I want you to see this video. It's from Little Nas. Lil Nas.
What's his name?
Lil Nas?
Lil Nas.
He made the country song.
Yeah. Oh.
What you call it?
What you call it? Little Nas X.
No, I want y'all to see this video, and I want you to see this video, and you tell me what you think about this video. I mean, this video is like, I just want you to tell me what you think about this video. But let's play this video. I mean, it's like, it's showing you where we are. This is the reason why I would have never, and I'm so glad I never stepped a foot in this type of industry. I've heard so many stories, sex stories of men that wanted to get in the industry, and they went to parties and they were offered to give their turn tricks and to get into the next level stuff. I mean, those are real conversations, guys. I mean, those are bona fide, real conversations.
What movie we seen? You probably don't
The
remember.
Harvey Weinsteins don't just exist for women. You know what I mean? Like anytime you're in a position of power and you just sadistic, you know, it's gonna play out. So
That's right. They don't. Now,
crazy.
What do y'all think about that video? What do y'all think about that? RW3 froze in the same position.
That is some.
What do you think about that video?
Oh my goodness.
Lovely.
You
Tim,
know
what do you
what?
think
I'm
about that
so
video?
glad RW3 face was so.
Look how he froze like that.
You know you can make a meme out of him right now.
Oh my God.
Man, let me take a picture of that picture.
That's a meme. We can make a meme out of RW3 right now. She's taking a picture of him.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What do you think about that?
I'm at a loss for words, but I think
that's the new music industry.
Well, that's the old music.
That's the old.
That's the industry.
That is. I mean, because the story in the Bible is so powerful, industry knows that. So anytime they can incorporate some biblical reference in the video, in the movie, you know what I'm saying? It just makes it that much more kind of compelling. And this is no different, right? But he is the new figure for the, sexual fluidity that exists in this culture now. And so he's it. He's the new, I hate to say sellout, but he's the new sellout that's willing to do anything that the industry wants to say, do. You know what I mean? And so when you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And again, the youth culture, they're a lot more sexually fluid. They don't want to claim male, female. You got trans, you got gay, you got, you know what I mean? And so they're capitalizing on that, and they're using him as the image. But personally, for me, it's grotesque for me. But it's going to hit, just think about how he's going to broaden his fan base with all of the imagery of homosexuality and
everything else.
Having sex with the devil,
right?
Yeah.
And now you the devil. He took the horns and put it on top of his head. He illuminates out because the Bible talks about how that's who Lucifer was. The minister of music, and he lit up and his wings came out.
Oh my God.
So much symbolism in there.
Then he was he was going up. When he was going up, he looked like he had
going up. Like angels threw him a pose. And you about to rewrite that and go back down. And he started going down, and now he started having. But
the imagery is very powerful in that video, and like I say, very very suggestive.
So that's why I think that when some of the Christian artists, when they cross over, it's a lot of things that they're presented whereas they don't really want to go that route. Maybe there could be some stuff that he's talking about. He just don't want to say it. But you know, he's not the only case. It could be other artists as well has gone through certain things as well, where they presented with something and it's like, it looks good, but it's like, nah.
They throw that money back.
See, and that's why I think gospel is a little different than secular, because like him, you know, he willing to whatever, run it, bring it. Yeah, I'll do it. But with Ty, he had a moral grounding that said, this is it. I can't go no farther, you know. And I think a lot of the gospel artists who are in it for praise and worship still have that moral grounding that other artists just, it ain't even there.
Yeah. Well, if you just put the spandex on, Ty, if you put the spandex on, we'll give you another 100,000.
And he said, "Hell to the no."
I ain't gonna put those spandex on for 100,000. Come on, man. We know you got what it takes. You know, you'll sell out, make a whole lot of. I mean, I don't know what his reasoning is. I'm just playing around. But whatever it is, you know, kudos to him in terms of if it's not just a selling tactic, a marketing tactic. You know, if it's really true, kudos to him to what? Not selling out to what he believes in. Because I don't know what it is, but it's cool to see that he didn't just say, you know what, I'd rather take the money bag. I'd rather get the bag and keep it moving and whatever. Because here's the thing.
He has some issues getting because of his internet and all that. But
but my thing is this. The reason why I talked about that video, because the caption, when I seen the video come across my Facebook history or whatever feed, it says, this is what you allowing your kids to listen to. You know what I mean? That's what the caption was. And that made me concerned. You know what I mean?
I couldn't even hear the content of what he was saying. So I don't know, like without that video, if I would get the same ideas, you know what I'm saying? But the image, the video itself was so strong, like I was too hooked on the visual to even listen to what the hell he was saying. Like I didn't even I didn't even hear what was he talking about?
I don't even know.
He was I don't want to say a lot, but you know, it's controversial. He was saying a lot of this is what you do. If you ever get a chance, just pull up the lyrics.
Yeah, I have to pull up the lyrics.
He's talking about cocaine, he's talking about all kind of stuff.
I heard him.
Yeah,
you know,
I heard cocaine.
I want to F everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It was
and
a
that's
lot.
the type of stuff that's out here now, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, it's sad, but you know, it's we continue to sell out to industry of an occult industry.
That's what it is.
To an occult industry.
And Tom, like you said, when you were in the business, our parents probably our parents felt the same way about gangster rap. Like that's how we got the parental warnings on the music. You know what I mean? Because they at that time to curse and to talk about how you're gonna shoot somebody and kill somebody was just as damaging as us looking at this guy doing it to everybody. You know what I mean? So the industry continues to push the boundaries of morality.
That's right. And so I don't know, the gospel industry, I guess they just, you know, they have to I mean, you just, you got a lot of decisions to make. You got a whole lot of decisions to make on what you're willing to compromise from what you're not willing to compromise. Right. I remember, last but not least, I want to say Kevin Hart. Don't quote me on this. He said, Kevin Hart said he hasn't, as of yet, played a woman or put on the dress. Either it was him or it was David Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, one of them has said, I think
it might have been David Chappelle, because I want to say I've seen Kevin Hart in a dress. I can't put my finger on it, but
really?
It might have been David Chappelle.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle. I know he said that he hadn't. It's come to him, but he didn't do it. You know what I mean? Where all our black men has to put on the dress. you know, down the line. You know what I mean? It's not. It's
Eddie
just
Murphy,
Yep.
Martin.
Yep.
Who else?
Who?
What about Cat?
Snipes, Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes put on one.
Did Cat put one on that?
Cat Williams. I don't know if Cat Williams put on one. I'm not really sure. He haven't really been in that many movies. Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker put on one. Or he was like a feminine alien or whatever that was, and all his little blue and his little ponytail at the top of his head. They all have some way or another. And again, we're not coming after, you know, homosexuality or anything. It's not that even that kind of conversation. We're just talking about what people do for the bag. Or what we want you to do for the bag. You know what I mean? Whether, you know, and that should that even be an option to even, and what is your reason for throwing that in my face? Why is that bad? You know how many women you have out here who can put on a dress? You know what I mean? I mean, why you coming to me? How is the movie going to make it better if I put on the dress? I guess that's my thing. We don't ask the women to put on a suit. I don't remember them asking women to put on a suit.
They probably had them to kiss another woman in the movie.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
They do. Yeah, they do. We have to show our boobies.
Yeah, I mean that ain't. You know what I mean? You know, it's still a moral issue. You know what I mean? Well, no, some women they're saying they're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, they said they're not doing that. What's her name? What's the one chick name? The young girl we was talking about that was on the House of Pain.
McClain, Anne McClain.
Anne McClain. China McClain. You know, you probably know her
played
from
in the House of Pain.
If you not know her for her, did you ever see Daddy's Little Kid?
Daddy's Little Girl.
Daddy's Little Girl. Yeah. You know, all of them was the kids.
Yeah.
All of them was the kids. But the youngest one, the youngest girl, she's talking about how, you know, she didn't play Hollywood's game. You know, she didn't they offer her a lot of, she didn't want to play the game. She said, I couldn't play the game right. So she left the industry and she said she started her own label, her own thing, you know, because she just got tired of playing their way. You know what I mean? She didn't want to compromise. A lot of them, and there's one artist said she didn't want to show. She said, I don't want to show my breasts in front of y'all.
Right.
She said, they came to me and she said, I didn't want to do it. I mean, so should you be thrown out of Hollywood because you don't want to show your breasts or your butt? I mean, why you have to bend over that way?
Yeah.
Because sex sells.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Well, you know.
Guys,
I do think that I do hope that, you know, the artists within the gospel music toe the line. I really do. You know, I really do, because even though we know that they're commercialized, you know, my hope is that they still, because they oftentimes have like, you know, ministry in addition to the music. I hope that, you know, helps them stay grounded and keep the gospel music.
That's right.
True to how they actually maybe live their life. You know what I mean?
No, that's true. That's real. That's real talk. That's 100%. Even Kurt Franklin. You know what I mean? You know, a perfect example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
don't be living one way and doing something else. You know.
Yeah, he slipped on that one. He slipped on a piece of ice on that one.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? Or a banana peel. One of them. But guys, we digress.
Yes.
We're not gonna hold you for long. Actually, it's early, and we're gonna shut it down. We just, you know, we wanted to talk about these topics. We're gonna get back next week. We're gonna have some different people on the show, and we definitely gonna have the young lady who was the owner,
Black Beauty Supply owner.
Yeah, we get a chance to pick her mind of what was going on with her,
and really more of just also, where is our support even within our own Black communities, you know, too as well.
That's right.
You know, since we're not really getting the support from outside of our community,
that's
it's just like we failed so many times in this area. So that's just the truth.
And I'm gonna be honest, I think that's the way we should go with it, with that interview, not more so about the Asian community. I think we should talk about the support, you know, of us supporting one another.
We shouldn't have to go outside if we can.
That's
if we can own manufacturing where we can get, hair and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Our own
Well,
community.
even if they do sell it,
Yeah.
because it's just going to be a market of people who they dominate that market. But that's not the issue. The issue is that if there's a demand to say, if you want our dollars, this is what you're going to have to do to get our dollars. You're going to have to let there be more African-American stores open, and you patronize their business. You make sure that they get those. Remember, she said her hottest line was that one particular hair that she said it was real hard for her to get. They wouldn't let her get that. But why not? You know what I mean? We solicit. Why not? So I think, that'll be a good topic to talk about with her, and maybe we can get more people on. Just like they ate the buying African stuff in Detroit.
She's gonna be coming on too.
See, they should have been on the same day, because it could have been like a support. And we have more than one, because we roughly talking about the same subject.
I'm gonna see if I can put it together.
But guys, we thank you for checking out the podcast.
That's right.
We thank you. This wasn't that where we had different individuals on to this particular time. But we wanted to talk about some things, and I think it was an interesting podcast, especially towards the end, you know what I mean, with that one video. But I mean, that's why we're here, guys, to just talk about what people are talking about. And I actually, that video was actually a new video. So that video, it hasn't been.
So we give him, what you call that? By watching his stuff.
Oh, it don't matter. He already got over 3 million hits on it. I mean, he's an artist, so he got a whole lot of hits on that video. But anyway, just like the WAP video, you know what I mean? We could have broke that down, how they doing women, putting them in the WAP. If y'all seen the WAP video, that's just as terrible as that video, But anyway, guys, we'll talk to you next week, next Sunday at 4:40. 4:45. We'll have some guests on to continue with the pod about whatever the topic would be. And guys, we thank you for watching as always. And we thank you. We ask you to like and share. Guys, we're going to need you to share this, because of what Facebook is going to be doing. We're going to have to support one another. So share the videos, share, let somebody else see it. Maybe they'll be interested in hearing the conversation that was talked about.
I'll tell you about it later. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and that's it.
Lovely day. Lovely day. Lovely day.
Yeah.